Hello, amazing kindergarten families. This video is your phonics class, how to best help your kids with homework, reading, and all those sorts of things this year. So we wanted to teach you guys how we're teaching your kids so you guys know what's going on. All right, videos are to follow. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, parents, so the first thing that we want to do is make sure that you know the correct sounds of the letters in the alphabet. A, B, B, C, K, D, D, E, F, G, G, H, I, J, J, K, K, L, O, M, M, N, N, O, P, P, Q, Qu, R, S, S, T, T, U, V, V, W, W, X, X, Y, Y, Z, Z. Okay, parents, so we have a huge focus on the vowels. We always review them every day, and in our rooms, they're actually on glue bottles. What we tell the kids is, you can't have a word without a vowel. Vowels are the glue that hold the words together. There literally are no words without vowels. So that's why we started with the vowels, and they are the most important. And you will see as we do the consonants how all the vowels we attach to them to make blends that create words. Now, some letters that might have been a little bit surprising to you would be letters that you actually added the U sound to. So if you remember, letter U says Well, some people think that L says la, or that R says ra, or T says ta, B says ba, and so on. But what you're actually doing is making a blend sound. Ba is B-U. Ba. Ra is actually R-U. Ra. Ta would be T-U. And so on. But this is the most important part of reading, is to master these vowels, because without these vowels, we would not have our words. And we like for the kids to be able to hear the vowels in the words. Okay, so now the kids know all of their vowels. Now it's time to introduce the consonants. We will introduce the consonant alone just to say what the sound is, but we are also introducing it with its blend. Now, this is your blend book that you will receive when we start the blends. You will be reading from this book to practice the blends. This is the beginning of reading. So, if I open up the book, I want to show you, what does a blend mean? Well, a blend is putting each consonant beside all of the vowels. A, E, O, U, I. On each page, they're mixed up. That also helps the kids make sure that they know what they're doing. Okay, so for instance, if we have L, we know that L says ul. So now I kind of tell the kids, like, we're going to put these in a blender together and make one sound out of two sounds. And that's why they're called a blend ladder. So if we have L and L says L, we have A and A says A. Together it's going to say la, L, E, le, L, A, la, L, la, L, E, le. So we've blended them together and we've made one sound. Blends are the beginning of words. So let's move over here. If we have T and we know our vowel sounds, T says T. Let's add a vowel sound onto it. So T, ta, T, A, ta, T, I, T, T, E, te, T, A, ta. Now, looking at this one, you might would think that this says me, but it doesn't because we're not reading a regular book. This word is not in a sentence. It's on a blend ladder. This is the beginning of a bigger word. So if I look at this, I know that M says and U says ma, ma, I, me, me, ma. So the goal is that eventually you can put these sounds together without always having to chop the pieces apart. When we teach the students the blends, we go ahead and show them how these blends are going to be used in their reading. So if we have ta, we ask them, okay, what is a word that we could make with ta? Well, what if we put a P? Now we have tap. So if we know that this says ta, we just add the P sound on the end. Tap. Te, you could turn into 10. T could be 10 or tip. Ta could be top. Ta could be tuck. Let's try another blend. So if we have ma, we could have man. Me, we could do men. Me could say mix. Ma could say mop. Ma could go to mud. So if you notice, the blends are the beginning of each of these words. So if they can learn that their blend sounds, all they're doing is adding an ending sound, and then they are making a word. What I love about the blends is that it's the beginning of the word. Well, we're supposed to read from left to right. So if we learn the beginning of the sound, we just continue it to completion. Now, there are other ways to learn how to read. Some people have used Hooked on Phonics and word families, and we will use word families on some of our work, and we will teach them, but our main focus is going to be the blends. That is how we teach reading at BCA. But just to show you what a word family is, instead of going left to right, you're actually looking at the end of the word, and you're just changing the beginning sounds. So for instance, you could do bit, fit, mit, pit. And these are just all sharing the same ending sounds, but if kids can get it, they can read faster, and keep going. So it's another way to help them. When reading your blend book, it's important to switch up what you're doing. So if they start memorizing that every time they get to the B page, they go ba, ba, bi, ba, ba, bi, ba, ba. They're going to get very used to that. It might become more of a memorization instead of a reading. So just make sure that you change up what you're doing. So sometimes you need to go up the ladder. Sometimes you need to go down the ladder. Sometimes hop around. Point to different ones and have them read them. Have them make different words as you go over them. They're all ways that you can review your blends. So parents, as you can see, if your child does not know their letters, we are going to be going over all the letters, but at a faster pace and with blends. So please be consistent to work on practicing any letters that your child does not know. Now, looking back at this list, another thing that we say is, okay, now we can read these 3-letter words. We've learned our blends. We've added an ending sound. Now we are reading 3-letter words. One thing that I tell my students is, let's not chop carrots. Let's try not to go p like that, but let's hold the sounds to finish the word. Top, and blend them together. That will help us get our words smoother and build our fluency. Now, we have taught the students their letters. We've taught them the emphasis on the vowels. We have taught them how to put the blends with an ending sound, and now we are reading 3-letter words. Well, now we want to read a sentence, but sentences are going to have words in between. So just to show the emphasis on sight words are the fill-in in between the words that we've taught your kids how to read. So we like for them to see them and know them and not have to sound them out, because though many of the sight words do not break the rules of reading, like in, I says I, N says N, a lot of them do break the rules, and we want them to see them and know them. So just looking at these sentences, like let's start with the cat sat on the mat. The is a sight word. On is a sight word. The is a sight word. And then I've taught them the blends ca, sa, ma, eventually after we go through our blends. So if I have taught them how to read cat, sat, and mat, well now if they know that the sight word the, on, and the in their head and memorized it, then they're going to be able to read this sentence. Now this one is wild because look, I like to play with my friends. Okay, well, let's see here. I is a sight word. Like is a sight word. To, play, with, and my. All sight words. Therefore, if they can see them and know them, just imagine the fluency that they can just see these and know these and read this. And then they just have to tackle this word at the end. So that's why it's important to learn your sight words. Now, we're going to play a short video for you guys just to help you have a little bit more knowledge on what it means to be a sight word.
Hi, my name is Ann Glass. I'm a reading and learning specialist at a private school in New York City, and I work with kindergartners through 3rd graders on reading, word study, and writing skills. In addition to being a reading specialist and a learning specialist, I'm also a parent, and today I'm going to talk to you about topics in reading. Sight words are high-frequency words in written language that do not follow conventional phonics rules. Children learn them through repeated exposure to reading and spelling them, and through lots and lots of repetition and practice. Sight words should be introduced in isolation and should be done by generating a conversation as to why this word is tricky. So for example, let's take the word said and put it on the board and see how we might discuss introducing it to children. Examining the word yields that the letter S is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's saying S at the beginning of the word. The letter D is also following phonics rules, making a D sound in final position. And then you have 2 vowels, A and I, that are teaming up to sound like a short E. Now this is where it gets tricky, and this should be a subject of discussion with you and your class, and just noticing that that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Once you have that discussion and you spell the word said, S-A-I-D, stand your class up on their feet and practice skywriting it. So let's skywrite the word said to put it into our muscle memory. S-A-I-D. Do that a few more times and also provide your students opportunity to trace and write the word on their own. Practice seeing it in isolation and also in written text. Revisit these words on a daily basis, and as you accumulate more and more sight words, put them on a word wall or on a ring for your child to review independently. Now, introducing sight words and practicing them is not a one-shot deal and should be part of a daily review. And as your class accumulates additional sight words, you can put them on a ring. This is one such ring of sight words that I've made, and it includes other sight words such as does, said, was, were, have. All of these words are high-frequency words that children encounter in written text all the time, and none of them is phonetically regular.
Okay, parents, so now we've learned all of our letters and vowels. We learned our blends. We turned our blends into 3-letter words. We're learning our sight words to fill in the gap so that we can read simple sentences. So what happens when these words get longer? Okay, so what we do first is we can mark our vowels, and that's something that we're going to be doing, and it helps them to learn to read longer words. So I say that if a vowel has one vowel only, then it's a happy vowel because he doesn't have to share with any other vowels. That little smile, I'm saying he's happy. He makes a short sound, and he does not have to share with any other vowels. This is the short vowel mark if there's only one vowel in the word. Okay, now there is something we call super E. If super E comes in, super E has the power to make the first vowel say his name. So what was cut has now turned into cute. We say that the first vowel is now sad. Long, sad face. It's called a long vowel. He says his name, and the E is silent. Cute. You said and said ut. Now it has to share. Super E makes him say his name. Cute. All right, so we had I says dim. Now, this is the special thing with vowels. Vowels have 2 sounds. They say their name and they say their short sound. So if I add super E, I'm. We make I say his name. Super E is silent. I'm going to add super E here. Put a long mark over the I because now he's got to share. P-ein. E is silent. Hop turns into super E here. Now it's a long vowel. The E is silent. Hope. Sometimes it's not just a super E. We just say the rule. When the first vowel does the talking, the second one walks away. The first vowel does the talking, the second one walks away. So he's going to talk and say his name. The second one walks away. Boat. He said his name. 2 vowels here. The first one says his name. The second one is silent. Goat. So it's not always super E that's going to do that. Okay, so now we've learned to read 2 vowel words. Okay, what if the words get even longer like here? Well, that is why in weeks to come, as we carry on with the reading process, we'll start doing the special sounds. That way, when the kid sees things like CK, they don't say k. They know that together it makes one cuss sound. Or they'll know that when you see ST, you don't have to go st. You just make one sound, st. Or FR, you just say fur. Or SH doesn't say s. It says sh. And TH doesn't say t. It says th. So this helps them read even bigger words. And the rule that I say is when you see a special sound, put a circle right around. I don't want them to put circles on all their special sounds on everything they do, but in our Abeka readers and on some of their work, they will. All right, so let's see how that works. PL is a special sound. Pull in plain, okay? We also know that when there's 2 vowels, the first one does the talking, the second one walks away. So pull, a, n, plain. All right, we know that FL says full. We know that this is 2 vowels. That one says his name, that one's silent. Full, ache, flake. ST says st. There's only 1 vowel, so we know it's going to be the short vowel sound, and it says ah. St, op. So now we can read even larger words from 3-letter words to 2 vowel words to 1 and 2 vowel words, adding special sounds. So that just increases our vocabulary and what our capabilities are of reading. The sight words continue to grow and fill in the gaps, and we are reading harder and harder sentences. Then we have RAS Kids, which is backing us up for reading. And what I love about RAS Kids is that it has a comprehension quiz. Some kids can read words and sentences all day long, but do they process what they read? And I love that RAS Kids does that. Okay, parents, so I want to tell you about our reading program that we're going to use. Sometimes I am going to be putting regular books in your bag. Usually I try to do that one of the 3 reading homework nights. If you remember, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays are homework nights, and we will be adding reading to that. So one of those nights, I might give you a book instead of RAS Kids. The other 2 nights, you will be reading RAS Kids. I highly recommend 30 to 45 minutes of RAS Kids a week, and you can do some of that on the weekends as well, but there are scheduled nights. Okay, so that is in addition to as well the Abeka readers. So if you're looking at my computer screen and I am on a laptop, you can download the app RAS Kids on your phone. You can take your reading anywhere, okay? So you are going to go to the kids login because it's the kids. So I'm going to click on kids login here. Now, when you get to this screen, you are going to see your child's name amongst the whole class, okay? So I've made a couple accounts here. So I'm going to click on Mrs. Jones. I'm going to give myself the password. I'm going to be giving all of you a picture password that your child will click the picture and hit go. So no one else can get into their account. When you get to this screen, you'll notice that there is a level up and there is a reading room. Now let me just take a moment and explain that to you real quick. So in the level up, that is the level that your child is currently reading on. Most of the children, except a few readers that I have, are going to be on level AA, the very first level. This thing I'm in right now is in level AA. The reading room is an extension of level up. Let me explain. If you go to your level up, and this one says that this is level AA, moving towards level regular A. It says I have 44 tasks left to do. Okay, these are all books that are level AA. If I finish all of these books in the level up, then what happens next is it's going to bump me to level A when I go to my level up. Let's say that I am in the level up, and the next thing that happens is I'm noticing that my kid is getting frustrated on their reading. So then I'm going to want to go to the book room. So I'm going to show you, if I go back to reading the book room, when I get here, it says leveled books. And it doesn't have it right now because I haven't gone any further, but it will be open to a level behind. So that way I will be able to go back and have even more things to do on level AA, because level A, I wasn't quite ready for it. So you should not be going into the reading room with the levels until you have come to a frustration level in the level up. If you finish level up and finish it well, and level A is the perfect difficulty for you, then keep going, keep leveling up. Don't hold them back. But the reading room is an extension. So one thing I wanted to show you, if you are starting on level AA, this is, I believe, only AA, you're only going to have listening to the book and then reading. Now, let me tell you one of the most important parts. You have to complete each step for each book. You have to listen to it. It will help you listen to the whole book. Then you have to read the whole book yourself. So if you skip around, I notice like sometimes if parents are not with their kids and they just let them go, 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 the kids will just listen to all of them. And then we can't figure out why in the world the kids are not leveling up. And all this time has gone by, and I'll start logging into their accounts. And I get a report, by the way, every single Monday of how the kids are doing, how much they're reading, how many times they had to take quizzes. So I will have record of how much time you've actually logged in. And if I see some red flags, I'll go and say, hey, your kids skipped all the reading and now there's no way to level up. So the most important thing I can tell you is do every part of every book. Read it, listen to it first, then read it. Now, when you get past this, you're going to have 3 steps of each book. Listen, read, and a little quiz on it, okay? So, okay, I've logged back out and now I'm back in my class. I'm going to show you another account of mine. So I'm going to click my name. Remember, you're going to put in your password, hit go. Then I have the level that I'm on in my extension. And there's other activities besides the leveled books as well. I'm going to go to my level up, the most important place to go. This says I'm on level D and I'm working towards getting to level E, okay? Now, if you see, there's listening, reading, quizzing. Sometimes parents are concerned when they get a little bit further that they're just memorizing. Well, it's important that they're looking at the words. That's one way you can figure it out. If they're looking around and just saying the words, then that means they probably have memorized it. I have had parents who have had them try to read it, then listen, and then read it again. Like they'll just kind of read, listen, then read again and correct themselves. You can best know your kid if they're just memorizing, but part of it, we want them to hear how it's supposed to be read. It's part of the learning process. Okay, so let's say that I have finished all of these books in level D, okay? I'm going to go back to my reading. Let's say that I got to level E, but it's a little bit hard. I really need some more practice on level D. I'm going to go to my reading room. I'm going to go to leveled books. And if you look, D is, well, if I would have gotten there, let's say that I finished C, now I am bumped up to D. If I go, the previous level is still there. If I had gotten up to level E, level D would still be there. So I can go backwards to level C and then complete some more books on level C in addition to what was in the level up to help me out. Okay, parents, one more thing that I wanted to add to the Raz Kids video was that when you are on this screen, every time that your kid finishes every single part of reading a book, the listening, the reading, the taking a quiz, they're earning stars. So at the top, it tells me that I have 960 stars in my account right now. If you go down here and you go to the star zone, some kids really enjoy this part. You can go and build avatars, Raz Kids rockets, and use your points. And the kids really get into like building these worlds, building these avatars and Raz rockets. So that's just another incentive that your kids could go and do this if they read their stories. It's something fun. Okay, parents, so let's talk about the Kinder Study Book for just a little bit. So you guys have had this book since the beginning of school, and I told you just to hold on to it as we are starting our blends. Now is going to be the time that you're going to be using it. So in this book, I honestly just tried to put some things, you guys can look through the front, just some hints, just some things that you guys can use, how to correctly write letters, and just things that you can pull out and study with and take it anywhere. All of our sight words are in order. Just like I said, I think our reel of sight words, some of them were out of order. But anyway, so all of your sight words are right here. They're in order. First 9 weeks, the order that I'm going in. So you can always look back to that. And then our special sounds, they're right here. Okay, all of them. I have them on cards with pictures in my room. They're right here. Easy take with you if your child doesn't get any of those, okay? So there's some math stuff in here. Literally just some stuff to study. A hundreds board, okay, where you can practice counting. In the back is where I'll be filling out your reading homework on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, unless otherwise noted that there's not homework or something like that. So if you notice, each day has things that are automatically there, okay? It doesn't mean that every night is going to be the thing. So, Raz Kids 15 minutes. If it's going to be a night that I give you a book, I will cross this out. I'll put the name of the book, and the book will be in your reading bag. Please make sure that you replace it so that I can take it out for the next time. Just keep it in there if it's my book, please, so that we can share books in the classroom. The Abeka Book Review. Let me go get one of those books, and I'll show you what that is. Okay, so these are the Abeka readers. They will continue to go. I have so many of them. They'll take us to almost the end of the year. I do a lot of teaching out of these. They're paper. You get to keep them. I write their name. You do not need to use the back of this because I will be writing it and you'll be signing it on here. So their name will be on the front. I teach from this book in reading groups, okay? So this will be after we get through a lot of the blend book. And it's just easy peasy stuff. We're going to write in this book because I'm going to use the phonics lessons for them to like write and do their stuff in this book. When I'm done with the book, I will check it off with a Sharpie. I'll say, keep it home. Please keep it at home. We're going to try to keep their reading bag clean and neat with only the current books in it. So when you see a check, I'll put it on the keep it home side, pull it out, keep it at home. If it doesn't have a keep it home, you can leave it in their bag. Please make sure that they have their books in their bag every day, because if they get to reading groups and they don't have their book, when all their friends are doing their lessons in their books, they're not going to have their own copy, okay? So after the lesson, what I'll do is a Abeka book review. I'll put the pages that we went over in class, and then if you guys will just skim over it, it would be great if they read it to you. You guys can just talk about anything that you might have seen in there. Now, this one says Kinder Study Book. Well, this thing is the Kinder Study Book, okay? That does not mean that I want you to go through this whole book every night. What Kinder Study Book means to me is study time. Whatever we're working on, because it's all in this book. If you need to study some sight words, well, you can use your cards, but I'm just saying they're in the book. If you need to study some math, or if you need to study some numbers, or special sounds, they're in this book. So it's just saying study time. It doesn't mean you have to use this book. It just means if there's something your kid needs a little bit more work on, or if you need to work on your sight words that week, it really just means you studied your sight words, you studied whatever you needed to study. Just to stay caught up, okay? So pretty simple, okay? So again, your Raz kids are all cross it out and write a book. I'll write the pages of the Abeka book that's current, that we went over that day in class, just so you can skim it, read it, look over it. And Kinder Study Book just means you had a little bit of study time. Please, if you sign this, that means that you did do it. And look, life happens. If you absolutely could not get to homework once in a while, shoot me a text and just say, hey, it was a night and we didn't get to homework. I know things happen. Kids fall asleep before dinner time. So just let me know. So it's very important that this book always stays in your bag. So every day, that bag, you guys have been awesome at bringing it every day with your orange communication folder. Now this always should be in there, okay? And then whatever reading material is going on. Their library book does not need to go in that bag. It can just be in their book bag for when they return that. Okay, one more thing I wanted to add. Level D is the minimum level that the child needs to be able to independently read and pass by the end of kindergarten. However, I must tell you that majority of the students are a little bit above level D by the end of kindergarten, typically, that I've seen in the past several years. So just letting you know, level D needs to be your goal. If you notice that you're reading your actual homework time, but you're moving at a slow pace, I would do some extra practice. So it's really hard. We want to have we want to have a kind of a time for homework. I don't want you to spend all of your life doing homework for kindergarten. But I do want people to think, when kids study for a test, some kids need to study for an hour and some kids don't even need to crack the book. So you do have to know your child, and some children might take a little bit longer to learn certain things. Again, don't let it get frustrating for your family. But it might just take a little bit longer for some kids to really get in the groove. And a little bit of extra practice might just really help them, okay? But we try to keep it to, a time limit. But just notice, keep up. Level D is your goal. Even further is amazing. But Raz Kids, reading is endless. You guys can go as far as you want. Your kids can read all the time. I encourage it. Whatever you guys want to do. Okay, thank you so much again for watching this video. Bye, guys. Hi, parents. So thank you so much for watching this video. I know it wasn't like a Hollywood production or anything, but thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking notes and just being able to partner with me to help your child. Just as closing, I want to tell you, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So just make the most of it. Stay positive for your kids. Make reading an exciting time. Not, we have homework tonight, but hey, let's go read together. This is so fun to learn together. And I can tell you that every year, the kids who put in the most time reading are the kids who are my top readers. The ones who log in the most minutes are the ones who are my top readers in my class, and they just soar. So you really do get out of it what you put into it. Stay positive. If you need anything, I am always here for you. Just let me know.